nephew's watching.
What nephew? You had a communist nephew?
Huh?
You had a communist nephew?
Yep. 2 of them.
The Baryshnikovs? The Baryshnikovs? Hello, Ash's cousin.
Did you get out of there?
Did you hear it?
No.
Just want you to feel like it was 5:30 in the morning.
Did you hit start? Because I don't see.
Yeah, we're live over here. BJ Nelson's already in. Amanda Blasky. Vogue. Guest on their show.
Trump rallies Georgia. We'll talk a little NFR. Let's see what else we want to talk about this morning. Rudy Giuliani tests positive. Looked like a pretty good weekend for the Aggies and the Longhorns. Not so much for my Cougs. All that and more coming up on today's Wade and Carter Show. Got dry mouth?
It's the ecstasy. Simple enough. Sorry, folks.
Just trying to put you in the Christmas spirit. How are you this morning?
I'm good.
Humbug.
Chestnuts roasting on. Or the bird.
Too soon. No fire jokes this morning.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, Chow.
Yeah, my nephew Mason is watching this morning, so give a shout out to Mason. You'll get through it, buddy. I woke up to harrowing text this morning. My younger brother's house up in flames overnight. So.
Yeah, like early in the morning, like while it's pitch black.
Yeah, like 4 o'clock in the morning. I get it. I woke up to the text. So he sent it like 4 in the morning, and there's a picture of his house in flames. So
he's a little hot there.
Are you a little hot there?
I got you.
Yeah.
No, I've learned. I've observed. I think there's somebody here, like a magic troll that comes in. There's no need to touch any of the buttons on this board.
No.
Okay, but you come in and it's like
playing. Well, look at mic 1. I mean, that's where all the mics were.
Yeah, that's just dumb.
It doesn't need to be there.
Doesn't need to be there.
Cords were pulled out where they shouldn't be. Yeah. Somebody just likes to mess with us.
I think they do. I think
it's Fridays. So
personal thing.
Yeah. So
jealousy is just like hate's little brother.
Scott Tom goes in this morning. Norning. Must have missed that M right next to
the N. To you, Scott.
There was a guy that did radio in Calgary growing up. Good. Norm Edwards was an awesome morning show guy. Good norming was his.
Oh wow!
Was his call? He was good, and he did. I mean, he was on like the top 40 station. AM back in the late 70s when AM radio was all the rage, and then he ended up working on talk radio.
You got to admit though, good norming, for a guy named Norm, it seems so obvious. But then again, when you're from Moose Knuckle, Manitoba,
it wasn't so obvious.
It's not so, they're just stretching it out up there at Bull Moose Nuts, Ontario. I mean, they just name everything just very matter-of-factly in Canada.
Yeah.
Name a couple of them.
Bovine Merd, Quebec.
Right. It's a whole other country.
Scott Snow checking in. Rob Moore Knipling. Judge Posey, good morning. BJ Nelson.
Robin Moore Knibbling wants you to know that I've got your T-shirt on the way.
Oh, I thought you said on.
No,
I thought you were stopping there. I was going to say that's
forgotten.
not a good look for you.
Never been forgotten.
Matt Boucher, good morning. Amanda Bloschke, Karen Webb, checking in. Christina Wise, H.R. Mallory, C.W. Bean, the Iceman is in. Andy Rhea Jr., Amanda Smith King.
Andy, Mr. Cupcake, Rhea Jr.
James Kurth, going to remember Pearl Harbor at 7:30 at the county courthouse this morning. We're going to talk a little bit about that, but thanks for jumping the gun for us there, Jimmy.
James.
Tammy Williams checking in. Trey Molina, good morning to you, Funky. Lisa Poole. Richard King, Jeremy Pena, Chris Conrad, Justin Glass, Patrick Strauss, David Glass.
No relation.
Scott Yearwood, Natalie Mayer, Steve Kidder, Adam Sugar, Brother Corey's checking in.
Good morning, gentlemen. Adam Sugar announced over the weekend that the prolific breeding contest underway between Adam and Cody Sugar.
It's Battle of the Sugar.
Adam has come back in and now played the 8 of spades. I don't know how many kids they're trying to get up to, but
I don't know.
Adam, no pun intended, fired a shot over the bow of his brother. And apparently they're going to have another little Sugar.
Lots of little Sugars.
Trying to affect the elections of 2042 and on.
Kathleen Leininger, thank you very much. Appreciate that. They all got out safely, even the dog. Apparently he woke up to flames outside the house, and they were able to get one car out of the garage, and that was it.
So what's the matter, boy? What are you barking at? You look behind you, the whole roof. Whoa, why are you barking, buddy? Things like this remind me that as long as you get your family out safe, everything else is replaceable. And the truth is, you haven't looked at most of those pictures in 30 years. Seriously, don't get caught up in stuff. Get caught up in family, friends, festivities, and memories. Don't get too wrapped up. It's got to be shock. It's got to literally be shock.
No,
when you go, wait, we're going to have to get a new blender before. I mean, I need it. But as long as, first thing I asked you, everybody okay? As long as everybody's okay, then we can rebuild from there.
Yeah, 4 houses on the block. His was one of 4 that went up kind of in a row. I don't know that it started at his house. It doesn't sound like it, but and I'll be honest, this has been a beef I've had in Calgary for a number of years, and I even wrote letters to the editor back in the day when you wrote letters to the editor of how close the houses are built together. And I showed you how close they were, and it's almost.
Well, it's the government maximizing profit.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Marty Stockbauer.
Yeah, but 2 young boys, Mason and Reese, and
they listen to the show. So good morning, fellas.
Mason's in, so I want to give him a shout out. Reese is probably still in bed. That kid sleeps through everything. He doesn't care.
Making s'mores.
Yeah.
Daddy.
But Mason's the one that'll take this harder, probably.
Right. You lose your room, your little guy. It'll be okay, Mason.
Yeah. But he's a little more. He's more of the sensitive one of the 2 brothers.
What is
he's tall, good looking kid, but he's got I think he's 12, maybe 13.
We'll get us a little Wade and Carter care package together and send it to Canada.
So
by the time they tax it, he probably get like a deck of cards.
I'm mad at my brother now, though. He just inconvenienced me. I just did all my Christmas cards last night. Now I got to get another stamp and a new envelope.
Wow.
Kidding. It's a joke, people. Tough crowd this morning.
Could be too soon, but
could be, but not for him. He sends me that picture. I'm like, what the heck? He goes, that's a fire. So just to give you an idea whether or not it's too soon. I'm like, yeah, I know that. That's a fire. So Trey Molina asking what they need. I'll find out. I'm pretty sure an Xbox or PS4 is on top of that list, knowing young kids' needs. So, but yeah, I'll find out for you, Funky, and figure out the sizes and all that stuff. Because I don't know what their sizes are. So, what's really going to kill these 2 boys with this though is
PS4's gone.
No, they'll be all right with that. But I have a feeling their hockey equipment's probably lost.
Now that ought to be pretty easy to get back. We get some new. Although, do you have a favorite stick? Stick.
But it takes some time for that stuff to wear in, probably, right?
Sure.
get it where you like it. And, hockey players can be superstitious. There's certain underwear you wear only underneath your gear, and maybe they're not quite there yet.
Kind of personal.
Well, maybe a little bit, but I don't know.
You want to do the weather this morning?
Yeah, we didn't get there. We jumped kind of right into
Well, we couldn't help it. Mason, hang in there, buddy.
Yeah, so let's do this.
The Wade and Carter weather brought to you by our friends at Deerland Feed. It's 39 degrees in Victoria, heading to a high today of 70 under clear skies. So the day will progress as you expect. It'll be 87 degrees at lunch.
Even though it was only a high of 70.
When you get in your car and the steering wheel's too hot to touch. I saw one the other day. It said, if you pull into a parking spot, if you just go ahead and turn your wheels a quarter of a turn, then when you get back in, your steering wheel won't be so hot when you need to drive. My problem is if you back up and hit the car next to you, then you're,
But you don't turn it around.
You've got to be remembering things. For everything you need, there's Deerland Feed. Get by there today and say, hey, they'll give you the same price they gave Ash. If you need liquid death.
Tax exempt if you're on if you qualify.
If you need
liquid
death for the bugs in your yard.
They've got all that. They've got it. I mean, seriously,
they have it all.
They have everything you need for your ag, your house, your farm, your ranch, your pets.
James Carter says he's jumping off to do a ceremony.
Like I've said before,
he's going
to do the Pearl Harbor. You can go look around all the other stores in town, and then you'll end up back at Deerland because they're the only one that actually has what you're looking for. So
yeah, there's other little trendy stores, but Deerland's been there for over 50 years, and there's a reason because that's where the ranchers go.
Yep.
People that need stuff go to Deerland Feed.
And Lacey's doing a great job there, and just carrying on the great service that the Deerlands have done from the beginning. So it's awesome. So today's the day that'll live in infamy.
Yep. 79 years ago today, sleepy little Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The victim of a highly orchestrated, well-planned, in military terms, a beautiful, beautiful invasion. In reality,
stirred the hornet's nest.
Awoke a sleeping giant.
Yep.
Led to ultimately in August of 1945, just a mere 4 years later, 3 years and 9 months later, right? No, 4 years and 9 months later. 41, 2, 3, 4. 3 years and 9 months later, you've got the United States receiving an unconditional surrender, basically saying, we will do whatever you tell us to do, which, by the way, for the Japanese, who their culture and their government and their religion were all tied together, very, very difficult
for them to do.
Ultimate defeat.
Yeah.
And
they lost face in that one.
But it has absolutely worked out over time. And after billions and billions of dollars of technology, the U.S. pumped back in just to help them out. Japan does very well on their own, and they still have us defending them. So it's not that bad a deal for them.
No, minus the loss of hundreds of thousands of lives as a result.
Right. Shouldn't keep poking the bear. Don't poke the bear.
Is it a day that will continue to live in infamy, you think? Or do you think?
Yeah, I don't think you think when the last one is dead? I mean, we're talking about 79 years ago. If you were 20, if you were 19 at Pearl Harbor.
You're 98 today.
Yeah, so, there's not many left.
No, but I wonder if we're losing not the memory and the observances, but the understanding of what Tom Brokaw dubbed the greatest generation.
Sure.
And
he was right.
And he was. But the sacrifices, not just of the men and women that served, but even those that stayed behind and did things they normally wouldn't do.
Yeah, that's over. That's over in this country.
I don't know that we're ever going to see.
The military still has it. Our armed forces, those that choose to serve, they still have the chutzpah to do the job, but the American public no longer has the stomach to do without, to quit making cars and start making airplanes.
I mean, would people sign up knowing that, depending on the situation, you got a 25 or 30% chance that you're not coming back?
No.
I mean, we panic over
No.
a virus that's 99% of the people surviving.
They would send Barack Obama to apologize for us being America. I'm sorry that we're such a white, unwoke group of people. It's our fault that you chose to attack us, because had we been more sensitive to your needs, you wouldn't have had to attack us. This one's on America. Our fault here. Take Hawaii. You deserve it. That's what would happen today.
And billions of dollars in advance reparations.
Absolutely. Let us build it back for you. And then you can have it. Because shame on us for all the privilege we've enjoyed.
Or Adam Daughtry.
Speaking of privilege you enjoy, Alan's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. It's a privilege to have Alan Miller come out and tow your gear, but guess what? You'll enjoy it because he'll be safe, acts like a first responder. He'll show up, straighten up the scene, make sure everything's okay, and then tow you to safety. Take your car where it needs to be. 578-6300. Alan's Wrecker Service is quite simply the standard. Challenge anybody to call. Tell me anything other than the fact that Alan Miller does the best job, period.
Yeah, there's no argument for me on that.
The VCS Company's Rocket Oilfield Services and the only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer. During this COVID time, AT&T is taking appointments. You can go in with confidence. You're not going to get sick. You're not going to be exposed to anybody. Right now is a great time to get in and get the new iPhone 12.
They've got the latest Samsungs. They've got all the accessories you need. Great stocking stuffers.
It is a great stocking stuffer. Nobody is going to be offended if you give them the charger for their phone, because we always need another.
Yeah. Or a new longer braided charging cord that won't break down 2 minutes after you take it out of the package.
Yes, absolutely. Reach out to the VCS companies also. Gentlemen, now is a great time look, you'll benefit from this, but your wife will be thrilled at the surround sound in the living room, the TV with the sound bar and the subwoofer. Let VCS come out. You don't have time to mess with that. You ain't got time for no box store. Call VCS, get a quote. They'll come out, set it up. You'll come home, plug and play. Good to go. One remote control controls it all. You'll be thrilled with the Control 4. So
Video Doorbell Pro can be accessed as well, and all your fire suppression, fire monitoring, fire alarm systems. They can install those commercially, residentially as well.
Razor IT Solutions, JP Hull and his team. He's just the tip of the iceberg. The eye of Tornado. He's the guy. But I mean, big time politicos, people, they helped orchestrate George H.W. Bush's funeral. I mean, he does press conferences, things you would never think of.
No, but he can do it.
But around town, he'll help you with your Facebook presence, internet presence, combining the two, collecting money, working through your QuickBooks, protecting your encrypted information. And if you're going, well, I don't need that, hey, trust me, that's why you do need him.
Yeah.
Reach out to Razor IT Solutions. And then White Trash Services, 550-1826.
You're cleaning up after Christmas or before Christmas. You're getting all the Christmas decorations down out of the attic.
Drag all that other garbage out of there, too, that you don't use. Let BJ Nelson haul it off. BJ and Scott Nelson will send out a one-time deal.
Yeah, give them a call today.
550-1826.
They will craft a customized plan for your needs based on what you're trying to get rid of. They'll get rid of it responsibly to not only you, but to the environment.
I got this attic full of nuclear waste. Can you come get it? Not till Tuesday.
And if they can't, they'll tell you where to go. But no, give White Trash Services a call. They can handle all your one-time clean-out needs.
550-1826. Adam Daughtry says, I had Alan Jr. refer me to another company to help fix my company truck. There you go. Alan Sr., Alan is like, if something's wrong with your vehicle, like Alan wants to fix it. You know, I got that Blazer. He's got it parked out next to a dumpster right now. It's right next to a roll-off dumpster. I don't know if he's trying to send me a message or what.
No, if he was sending you a message, you'd open the doors and park it right in front of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Craziness.
So he's trying to be more subtle right now. He's not quite there yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good folks, Alan's Record Service.
They really are.
22 after the hour. That makes it Thursday in Newfoundland.
Yeah. So,
hello, Newfies.
I'm sure my mom's up watching. Good morning, Mom. There's Norm Burgess checking in. He didn't have any Cowboys angst over the weekend because they won't play until tomorrow now.
Yeah.
Interesting that last week Pittsburgh's game was delayed until Wednesday. They played that one like in the afternoon. Afternoon kickoff on a Wednesday.
So here's the interesting deal. And if I'm looking at the AFC,
yeah,
the clear two teams that are the best in the AFC, Pittsburgh, Kansas City. To me, it's like head and shoulders above everybody else.
Yeah.
Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, like that. They're like that.
Tennessee was sort of there.
They were.
And then this weekend, it wasn't so good.
They won though, didn't they?
No, I think they lost. They lost to the Browns.
Yeah,
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield
went off.
Everybody's hating Baker Mayfield. He's a player.
Tannehill had almost 400 yards passing. I mean,
yeah,
there was no defense in that game, obviously.
So Pittsburgh, clearly one of the elites in the AFC, they just decide the NFL says, hey, and puts Pittsburgh on in the middle of the afternoon on like a Wednesday.
Yeah, last Wednesday. Pittsburgh and Baltimore. I mean, two pretty good teams.
With a million residents between them. I mean, So then when Dallas is going to play, a terrible team.
On a Tuesday night.
They
tomorrow.
Put them on at the night game.
Yeah.
I mean, people are going to be home watching. That game will draw a big share.
And it's Cowboys at Baltimore tomorrow night. But they figure – and maybe they tried to move it as late as they could because Baltimore just played last Wednesday. I don't know. But – I'm thinking it's purely because regardless of how bad the Cowboys are, the Cowboys still pull TV ratings.
Nationwide. Yep. They may have played it as late as they could to get the West Coast Cowboys fans. Did you see and I don't watch the NFL except for the Dallas Cowboys. I really don't. I've watched highlights of Patrick Mahomes, and I'm really encouraged about his just gift. I'm amazed.
Chiefs beat the Broncos last night. I watched a little bit of that game. That all-red Chiefs uniform just sucks.
Yeah. Was it a close game?
Yeah, it's 22-16.
Are they undefeated or not?
Chiefs, no.
Who's undefeated?
Just Pittsburgh.
So here you go. By the way, they've never been undefeated this late in the year.
11-0. I think there's not many teams that have gone 11-0 over.
And the Browns, I think, who's 9-3, guaranteed themselves.
Cleveland, they're right behind in the same division. They would be leading any other division.
Why is everybody hating on Baker Mayfield?
I don't know.
They had two they were punts yesterday where a wide receiver, number 80 for the Browns.
Richard King, you mean the Browns have a team?
Yes, they do. The wide receiver was number 80 for Cleveland. And, I mean, I don't know if he's a starter for them or not. I don't know who he was. But he was on the outside on both of these punts. And I'm talking about this guy is just sprinting down the field.
He's the gunner.
And let me tell you something, brother. Twice, smooth took out that punt receiver. Now, once I'd seen the guy calls for the fair catch. And it's kind of like watching NASCAR. You know it's a penalty, but it's like he's going, no. And right as he catches it, bam! I mean, this guy just levels him. I had to laugh at that.
Steelers play the Washington football team tonight. Will probably be 12-0 after tonight. But
yeah, I heard that Washington football team, that they have a cap now, and on the front, it's the colors. It just says hat. I like that. Pretty good boy. That is Washington football team.
Hey, it works for pretty much every football team in Europe.
I did hear Aikman the other night said, well, what the Reds football team here have to do, he kind of, garbled it a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's be honest. You can't refer to them that anymore if you're an official broadcaster of the NFL, and that's going to be especially for a guy like Aikman who played against them. hated them probably as a Cowboy just because there was no love lost in that
Sure.
rivalry. And
It was
now
a
you've got
beautiful
to
rivalry.
and now you've got to refer to them as the Washington football team.
Back when both teams were really good. Do you think that Aikman, do you think he takes any personal angst at the fact that Jim Nantz and Tony Romo have lapped him and Joe Buck as far as being there's still to me 1 and 2 on the broadcast circuit. But isn't it a given that Nantz and Romo are the lead dogs in that race right now?
I don't know because I've never been a huge AFC fan, so I don't watch a lot of AFC football.
Hello, friends. Jim Nantz here. I make $9 million a year, so I've got to do football when it's not Masters Week.
I saw an old ad online for CBS.
Aikman doesn't remember. Says, well done, Adam.
I saw an ad for the old CBS play-by-play crews, and I mean, Vern Lundquist was the baby of the bunch back then. Vin Scully was calling CFL games on CBS or NFL games on CBS back then. Kurt Gowdy was still calling games.
Gowdy.
They had, Pat Summerall was still. They had some just. You think of the iconic play-by-play guys in all of sports, and CBS had them.
Norm says Troy talks full time and never takes a breath. What's funny about that is, and Norm will know this
because he's good. He's got good diaphragm control.
No, on any given Sunday when Troy Aikman's doing a broadcast, he talks more than he did in a 14-year NFL career combined. That guy there was never a soundbite. He never gave anybody any bulletin board material. Troy Aikman never said anything memorable his entire NFL career.
No.
Not once.
And now he's second best analyst in the game.
He saved it. Now, on the other hand, Romo sounds like he's been screaming at a topless dancer at karaoke night. He sounds like me. I don't get paid $5 million a year to do this gig. Romo sounds
Nor would you.
Right. Can you imagine Joe Buck would say, what's he going to do here? I don't know. It's 3rd and 8. He's probably going to throw it somewhere.
Yeah, I guess probably throw for 9 yards and a first down.
No, unless you're the Cowboys. Then you hit it to Witten underneath for 6.
Because they're double covering them.
Yeah. Then
you can't get the extra 2 yards.
But you always wonder, how Romo can go. Well, you see Mike is here and the strong safety's over there. This is one-on-one situation. He's just throw right out here in the flat to Galloway. And then he's right every time.
It makes you wonder why he wasn't that astute when he was playing for the Cowboys.
There's people that think that guy's a Hall of Famer.
Good quarterback, maybe even very good quarterback, but I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
Trey Molina says, I'm right, but if Joe Buck disappeared, Joe Buck can't disappear because he's ageless. He and Juan Soto are both still
just 21. Here's the thing, people hate Buck. I think Buck is a very good play-by-play guy. Where he gets into
no Jack Buck.
Well, no, but where he gets into trouble.
He's such a jock sniffer. Well, alongside the Hall of Famer, I'm right here with this is Troy Aikman, man. This is Troy Aikman. Me and Troy had dinner together last night, and he was in his room, and I was in my room, but we had dinner at the same time.
Having introduced a few recording acts over the years, and here's how these are the things you have to say when you're introducing them.
Grammy Award winner.
Yeah.
He's got to say
Arista recording artist. Yeah.
You got to say it.
But he says
it with such adoration.
But it makes it. It does make you wonder if that's a rider in the contract of Troy Aikman.
Yeah, it would make sense that it would be. You would think the NFL would want to tout. Hey, this is our Hall of Fame, or the network, Fox, right? Is it Fox? Fox would want to say we got a Hall of Fame quarterback because CBS doesn't.
Nope,
that makes sense now. Tell you who's a Hall of Famer.
I tell you who's dropped a little bit before we move on. I think as an analyst, Daryl Johnson just does not seem to
He
have.
doesn't seem interested anymore.
Not anymore. No, he really
He's not
seems,
interested in football anymore.
No, he's really not, and it's very apparent.
Yeah.
When he's doing the game.
Yeah, true story. He does seem kind of like they'll go, Daryl, that was a nice play on 3rd and 3, and he'll go,
Yep.
That's good. Yeah. You're right, Bill.
Yeah, that was a nice play.
That was a good one. Tell you who's in the Hall of Fame, no doubt about it, right here in Victoria, Texas, the Atzenhofer dealership. Since 1926.
They've been selling brand new Chevrolets. Along the way, they've added Cadillac, Mitsubishi, Mazda to the stable of new vehicles that you can buy. They've got every single brand of pre-owned. Just phenomenal.
Paint and body shop, all your service. I took the car by the other day. I saved 65% on the oil change you would have taken me because I drive one of them foreign cars. Yep. $300 down in Corvus, $91 here. Out. All
no time driving, no mileage added on. Yep.
I called the day before, said, make sure you have the filter. They said, be here at 2:00. I walked over, said hi to the folks on the new car showroom, went back, got my car, and left. It's beautiful.
Awesome.
They do a great job.
What were you looking at in the showroom?
Man, they had a brand new Cadillac CT5. It was kind of a navy blue car, beautiful car. Like now you wouldn't say, oh, it's got leather, it's got electric windows. It's Cadillac. It's got all that stuff, right? And then next to it,
growing up, J-Dub's dad had a Cadillac. 2-door Eldorado, stainless steel roof on that thing.
Yeah, I can see that car, like an 84, 85.
Yeah, somewhere in that range. Really nice. Black.
A Baritz.
Baritz, it was.
Very nice.
And, sunroof.
I had no idea his dad was a pimp.
Those cars were the only cars in the mid-'80s that had leather electric windows.
Unless you had a Cordoba.
Yeah. Those in the T-roof, didn't they? Oh, no, that was the Dodge Magnum. That was the poor man's.
I had no idea that J-Dub's dad was into gentleman's services. I didn't know that.
Oh, that was an awesome car, though.
Was it? He'd let you ride in the back and you go collect it?
Those doors were so big. It had a latch for the guy in the back seat so he could get out.
And without having to try to past the back,
past the front seat. Yeah. And had a little latch there. So if you're in the back seat, you could push the seat forward and you could get out without.
Those seats weren't as comfortable as the seats you can get at Chestnut Furniture Company. For 100 years in downtown Victoria, Bobby Leon's family have been providing you with the best in furniture deals and quality.
And service.
Go by and buy it today. They'll deliver it today. It's Christmas time. They're busy, but they're working hard for you.
And peace of mind knowing they're going to be there tomorrow because they've been there for 100 years.
116 West Juan Lynn, corner 1 Linden Bridge. Please tell Bobby Leon, tell the folks at Chestnut that Wade and Carter sent you. And then Veracruz today.
Back open after taking the weekend off, as they do every weekend.
Some trivia, though.
What's
this
that?
Holiday time.
Oh,
this
that's
coming
right.
Saturday, if you're out shopping, and this is a bonus for you folks, you dads that get stuck shopping this coming weekend, just blow over to Veracruz for lunch. They're going to be open this Saturday coming up, doing a great job. The food is just phenomenal, and the service is even better. Go by, if you want something for the house, go by and get you some guacamole, the queso,
enchilada casserole,
hot sauce. Adam Sugar says everybody had to have a feather in their hat to ride with
J.W.'s dad.
Yeah. What was J.W.'s dad's name besides Mr. Wiley?
Mr. Wiley.
What else?
Never knew his name.
Never knew his first. See, folks, come on.
Bill.
Cornelius.
Bill Wiley.
Cornelius Wiley. Shaft. Go Tigers. Man, did you see Coach O yelling on Saturday night?
No, I did not. I missed Coach O.
They were trying to hang with Alabama. There are people.
They didn't hang with Alabama.
But as dumb as this sounds to me, Joe Burrow, arguably, once in a program quarterback. And there's a lot of programs that never had a quarterback as good as Joe Burrow, ever.
No. And a lot of programs that had quarterbacks as good as Joe Burrow, and he never took them to the heights that Joe Burrow took LSU to.
So people are saying, man, I can't believe that Coach O dropped off as much as he dropped off. He had like 12 people drafted last year. Yeah. There's 12 guys off that team playing in the NFL. You're going to have a little bit of a letdown unless you're Nick Saban and you have, another 5-star on salary. like Alabama does.
Think about that. That's one complete side of the football starting lineup gone. NFL.
Yeah, they were good enough to play in the NFL, and they're gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Boy, did my Washington State Cougars lay an egg last night. They have an opportunity. Sunday night, you get all the people tired of the NFL that are still, wanting to watch some football. We're playing USC in LA. And before I turn it on a little bit late, it's 0-0. I'm like, all right, we're hanging. I turn around, and it's 35-0. USC.
Really? USC
yeah.
crazy. Well,
and I think they won it like 38-13 or something.
That Marcus Allen, he's a Heisman Trophy
he is
winner.
really good. Jim Plunkett's. Oh no, that was Stanford.
I like the way
Pat
you're thinking
Hayden.
now.
That's what I was thinking. But yeah, and then of course the Cougar boards are all lit up. Well, our quarterback, he sucks. He's a true freshman. He's only played 3 games. We've been off for 3 weeks.
He's had time to get better.
Yeah. COVID and everything else has made us a little rusty.
Well, here's what happens. So,
new coach, new system. We're 1-2. We played 3 games. That's it.
The important stuff, the stuff that matters. In a game this is when I have to give props. Number one, the Fighting Texas Aggies in my lifetime haven't really had that many must-win games because it just didn't really matter. Now they had a must-win game Saturday night, and they won.
And it was a close one.
Yeah,
they won the fourth quarter.
31-20, though. They muster enough chutzpah to beat Auburn. Congrats to the Fighting Texas Aggies. You got to give them props for that. This Jimbo Fisher experiment at $7.5 million a year may be working. I'm laying the groundwork for when Texas pays some idiot $10 million to come coach them.
That doesn't work?
Yeah. But I'll tell you this. They really did a good job. Aggies' defense has been good all year. The offense has been kind of up and down, flighty. But they were consistent enough. I did see one touchdown. Mon threw the ball, and it was so poorly thrown that when the Auburn guy tried to it hit him, and it went to the tight end in the end zone, and the Aggies scored. It's like he wasn't even thinking interception because he was like not even part of the play. It hit him and ricocheted 4 yards left.
That's when Auburn's coaching staff didn't do a good job with the scout team and throw their 4th-string quarterback out there to throw
to play for Mon. Yeah, to play for Mon. But the Aggies have done well.
You put a running back there to give you his scrambling characteristics and ability to run. You throw your 4th or 5th guy who's still redshirting his senior year to throw Kellen Mond's passes.
Trey Molina says, give JP some love for his Aggies. And you're right, Trey. When I make these comments about the Aggies, I always make them as if JP is sitting over here in the corner because he will call with a critique of my comments. And my comments are as follows. Hats off to the Fighting Texas Aggies. You control your own destiny a little bit. The problem is you need Notre Dame. You need Michigan to beat Ohio State. Ain't going to happen.
Not going to happen.
You need, Clemson to fall, and they're playing so well, and Trevor Lawrence has the hair. And then Mac Jones is kind of a Heisman front runner, and Alabama just looks like a juggernaut that can't be beat. So the Aggies may really be able to cheer this year and say, we're number 5. We're number 5.
And I'm going to friendly pick them every week. And, somebody picks a game, and we gotta pick the game and the score. And I picked this week as a typical big game Aggie letdown, and I took Auburn. At home, I think I had the score reversed because I figured not only were the Aggies going to lose it, they were going to lose it pretty convincingly. But
so that's Auburn the next level. A&M's kind of going to the next level. They're winning games that they ought to win. They're winning games that they have to win. And hats off to Jimbo Fisher and his crew in Aggieland. Now, the Longhorns. Ash and I have talked about if Ronald Reagan had the same list of accomplishments. By the way, unemployment goes down again. Job creation goes up again.
Yeah, 280,000 jobs.
Unemployment's down below 6%.
Yeah.
I mean, you're down at 6%.
We're where it was, I believe, when Obama left office, right?
No doubt.
and still in the middle of a pandemic. And despite the fact that 30 some odd, almost 40% of small businesses have permanently shut their doors as a result of governments taking action, picking winners and losers.
Yes. You got to admit, Trump's done a pretty good job. And so the economy's doing okay. And you're about to have this vaccine out that if it works, the Democrats are going to take full credit for, of which they did nothing but fight the president on this.
Oh, he's cutting red tape. Yeah.
This is against the people. Now that you watch, these same Democrats are going to turn around and make it mandatory that you get the vaccine. Hide and watch. These are the ones that said the president's jumping the gun, the president's being too hasty. But now that it looks like, hey, it gives people hope, hey, it kind of spurs the economy, the Democrats are like, well, we're doing all we can to get it out there as quick as we possibly can. But we've said here, if Trump were a more likable guy, personally, there's a lot of people that don't like him. I even have some understanding of that. I can relate to that. The idea is that's kind of where Tom Herman is with the Texas Longhorns. Texas goes out and clown stomps a hapless K-State program. You'll remember that K-State went through a period there where they beat Texas like 3 out of 4. They had that left-handed quarterback, that huge lurch white dude left-handed quarterback that was just killing us every year. Well, Texas has now won the last 4.
Bill Snyder 3.0 just around the corner in Manhattan, or is it Manhattan?
Yeah,
Manhattan, Kansas, because it seemed, he had him going the right way, right? The first time. They were perennial top 10. They didn't quite ever crack the top 5,
Sure.
but they had people excited in Manhattan.
They were Skip Kendall. They were Matt Kuchar.
But they were fun to watch because they had a high-powered offense. They could play some defense. We're going back to the 90s, the first round of Bill Snyder. Right?
Athletic and well coached and good people. They were a good program.
And they brought excitement to Manhattan, Kansas that hadn't been there
since the Flapper era of the 20s.
Probably so. Then he decides to retire, or they move him into, I think, the AD job, right?
Front office.
Yeah. And the football program has a couple of good years, and then it starts. So then they bring Bill Snyder back, and he brings him back up. I think the first year they're like top 25 team, and they get back to 10 to 15 every year in the rankings.
And Heisman finalist.
And then Snyder says, "Oh, you know what? Now I'm going to retire. I'm off into the sunset."
And they're back down.
They're back down where
they belong.
Can't see
some
play,
programs have to have. And this is what drives Texas fans nuts, is we're starting to feel like I had one that stung the other day. I had an OU fan say, y'all are the new Nebraska. Ouch. Ouch. I don't want to be the new Nebraska.
You were never Prop 48.
I remember well, that's really what killed Nebraska is when Texas said no mas. But I remember when Ohio State was down. Michigan is down now. I remember when Alabama was down before Nick Saban got there.
Penn State is really down.
Penn State. Well, you look at it, though, and you just go, look. Tom Herman is not a likable guy, and I'm an alum. I mean, he's got to run the table for me to like that guy.
Welcome back, Christina. Why is she to leave for a meeting? She's back already.
There you go.
We know where her priorities are.
Let me tell you, though, if Tom Herman can get whatever he used to impassion this program on Saturday, it was a leave no doubt moment. It looked like Remember the Titans.
69-31 wasn't that the final score?
It could have been lots worse.
Yeah.
I mean, Texas just used every weapon. Everybody scored. Everybody got a participation letter. And but people are saying, does that save Herman's job? He's the guy that right now. So here's what I would ask you: is your objective? He goes to however many overtimes and loses to LSU. He goes to however many overtimes and loses to Alabama. Is there anything about Tom Herman that makes you think that next year he wins those games? To me, the answer is no.
Not right now.
Not with the recruits all leaving.
No.
Yeah, Torrin, there is no flu this year, and only Republicans are getting COVID because the Democrats are all wearing a mask and being careful.
Trey, Funky asked, who do we think the best team is?
Alabama. Alabama's the best team in football. It's unbelievable. When you watch them, they're just – I watched Alabama play LSU, And then I flipped over and watched BYU play Coastal Carolina. Now, these are both top 20 teams. Coastal Carolina is number 18, and they beat a number 13 BYU. And it
The
was like watching
Chanticleers
high
never
school.
make noise except every once in a while, the NCAA tournament, they pull off a 15 over a 2 seed
in basketball.
In basketball. That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But I'm watching that game, and it is more than one click slower. Yeah. When you watch Alabama play football, they play at a rabid and ravenous pace. Like as Mike, not Michael Strahan.
Remember the joke? Like 3 years ago, you could have put Alabama and Cleveland in one more games than the Cleveland Browns can win.
What was his name? Number 56, New York Giants. Lawrence Taylor. We play like a bunch of crazed dogs. They are crazy, man, and super athletic, and just powerful. I think Alabama could beat anybody.
Coastal Carolina, let's be honest though, Coastal Carolina is not a top 25 team if this is a regular non-COVID
and maybe year. BYU isn't either. But they're 13 and 18 this week, and they were both really terrible.
How does Rice shut out a top 25 team in Marshall over the weekend? Rice hasn't been able to beat anybody all year.
No,
good for them to get a win.
Yeah,
on the road too. In West Virginia, that's not an easy place to go play and win.
Scared one. James Kerr says short, sweet ceremony for the Pearl Harbor, and said it scared one VPD officer because of the volley fire. Come on, James Kerr.
J. Dub says don't pick on Big Billy's old school BYU. He played football and baseball at BYU.
I didn't know that. Is that before he went into gentleman's services with his Barrett's Eldorado?
Hey, we got a caller. Good morning.
Who we got, caller?
Who we got?
That'd be JP Hall. JP Hall calling to talk Aggie football. I hope he was listening when I lauded. That's Trey Molina texting you more than once. This is the only show. You know that. And on top of that, I was lauding.
That's what took so long. We're already moved on, but he had to find out which show he
he called Billy Madison. He called Kicks. I see how it is. He finally got around to calling us. Well, I'll tell you what, she's done exceedingly well.
There's a backhanded compliment there.
Yeah.
Well, there were a few things left unsaid. What a fine young woman, in spite of you, is kind of how that was coming across.
And he kind of said she was an okay person, but the synergy created by that Maine School of Business Education took her to the next level.
Exactly.
Well, she said she enjoyed visiting with you, and she said, my dad told me just to shoot John Paul straight, and I didn't have the heart to tell her, if you try to BS JP, he's going to pick it up. Don't give him any of that car speak. You know? She did graduate from a fine university. What we said about the Aggies was that they are, not only are they winning games that they traditionally, historically might lose, they're winning the games they have to win, and they're leaving no doubt. That win Saturday night against Auburn, it mattered. That was a big win. You got to have it. Got to have it. Close game. Who would they be playing? And so they don't need to play this game either? I mean, do you see a situation where, barring a collapse, and I haven't looked at the schedules of the Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, or Notre Dame, do you see a scenario that allows the Aggies into the four-man playoff?
Well,
but now,
and I don't
kick them out.
I don't know what it does, but if Ohio State doesn't get to, what do they need, 6 games?
Well, they're playing Michigan this weekend.
Well, right now.
Well, think about it, though, JP. The Big Ten jumped to you called it, Ash, way back then, that they were way too hasty. nobody knew what was going to happen. But the Big Ten came out honestly, in the summer, we're not playing any football.
Yep.
Well, because we're going to be the leaders and everybody's going to follow us.
And then all of a sudden, the Big 12 and the SEC starts
We're gonna
playing
play
some
football.
games, and oh geez, they're playing football and they're doing it okay. The Pac-12, the same thing. They weren't going to play any football, and all of a sudden, oops, we got to play some football because everybody else is, and they managed to be doing it without anybody dying.
Right. So when that happened and they had to jump back in, I think they thought that the world would just they thought they were the Big Ten. Hey, we're the Big Ten. We're the granddaddy of all. We're going to go. And then everybody said, nah, we're going to go play football. I think Ohio State is deserving of their position. And I don't know what's going to happen. See, if Clemson beat Notre Dame, to me, the Aggies would be in. But if Clemson
loses,
I don't know. If Clemson has to lose, I don't know. And Clemson could destroy Notre Dame.
But if Clemson and Notre Dame go to overtime, probably not helping the Aggies.
Just shows they're very well matched.
Unless Clemson loses, I still struggle with the two-loss team in the playoffs.
I do too. No, so you're trying to be sarcastic, and I think you're being subtly malicious, and I'm just not emotionally ready for that at this time. I did talk about how the fact that Tom Herman is a lot like a Donald Trump. Like, you can like some of his results and still think that maybe it's not worth having him around. They win 69-31. They left no doubt. And at the same time, it lets you know, and I've said this for years, Texas highs are higher than most schools. Our lows are never as low as many schools,
you act like they are.
And our delving downward doesn't last as long as most schools. However, this time it's lasted 10 years of being not in contention. But I'll tell you that I remember when we were scared to play Kansas State. Of course, we've won the last 4 in a row. They got rid of Coach Snyder, retired, and that big left-handed quarterback who played 14 seasons there finally left. No doubt about it. I'm not afraid to play Kansas this next week. You can write that down.
Clown stomp them.
So if nobody's got any data on that. Chris Del Conte has never made a statement. Our AD has never said that we've offered him anything. I have no doubt that
they were resurrecting the old. I saw on Saturday the old Nick Saban or Urban Meyer was in Austin looking at real estate. Yeah,
JP, that somebody. Well, it wasn't made up about. It was a done deal with Saban. That's all. I've verified all that. Saban was coming until a bunch of real estate guys in Alabama bailed him out because he was in financial dire straits at the time. No, not even close. That's accurate. I know the people that were involved, the dude that knows the dude. But I'll tell you this. I don't know how you fire a guy.
Heard it from a friend.
Right, and she was messing around. I don't know how you fire a guy that if he goes out, wins his bowl game, how are you going to fire him? But at the same time, the recruiting, they put a graphic up during the ball game that showed that, of the top 20 players in the state of Texas, Texas numbers going backwards. We had 1 this year. We had 3 the year before. We had 5 the year before that. We had 8 the year before that. We had 12 the year before that. We have steadily declined.
And what good had that done?
Nothing.
Here's the problem I have with the rankings of prospects like that. You're talking 16, 17-year-old kids.
Right. Their bodies change a lot.
And it's a whole and a whole industry has been built to sell magazines, premium subscriptions to websites,
Max Preps. And all
it's a whole industry that needs to keep doing that so they can keep the dollars rolling in. I struggle when you see programs that are never in the top 25 recruiting classes, yet they're always in the top 10 to 15 ranked nationally at the end of the year.
Yeah, Patrick Strauss says the Horns are always in the top 10 in almost every preseason poll.
And every year on this show, we say they're overranked when they're
yeah,
when
and all that is,
high.
Patrick, all that is geographical relevance for the people that are selling magazines, because 90% of the people that buy the magazines don't know beans about their program. Like, whoa, Texas is number 8. I better read that. I can see that. Are you coaching them up? Are they getting better?
Yeah.
Do you know that right now? I think I'm right, which means you can feel free to verify it. The Aggies have 28 active NFL players, and the Horns have 24. So we've had the worst decade of our existence, and the Aggies have 4 more players in the NFL, and it's all a matter of perception and perspective. I mean, the Aggies feel like they're on top of the world. You have 4 more guys in the NFL.
There was a time when NFL teams were drafting the backups at USC.
Yeah, and at Texas. There were guys that never played that got drafted because that's when you had 1,000 scholarships. No, you need to look at some of the, like, you don't think the best player in the Big 12.
No, Phil Dawson's not playing anymore.
The best guy in the NFL, the best guy in the Big 12 is a kid named Asai, and he's going to be playing. Cosme will be playing next year. There's at least 2 that will get drafted in the first 3 rounds. Oh, I know. No, I know.
We appreciate the hard time. Thanks, Jay.
We do. Heard that you've been messing around.
Anytime.
Bye, bro.
See you, man.
Is that Troy coming in after?
Yeah, that's my brother coming in.
Sorry about your home, brother.
Just glad you're all safe. Right?
Yeah, that's the key thing.
I've kind of been shocked after that one, seriously.
Yeah.
That's just blew me away this morning.
Just reassure Mason and the little one that it'll all be fine. Uncle Ash is going to send him a scholarship.
For the UHV curling team.
Boy, we can be good.
Yeah.
Tell
you who's, tell
Uncle Butch barbecue
today.
In there today. You picked that up. Well done. Uncle Butch barbecue today. Brisket, ribs, sausage, chicken, turkey.
All the sides.
I say ribs?
You said ribs.
You like ribs.
Sausage.
Cabbage, pinto beans, green beans. Got to get the pea salad. Folks,
they're grilled potatoes and cabbage are my go-to sides. Although, I can't taste anything right now, so I could eat anything.
OB checking in from Cabo. He's
nice.
in the beautiful Ryu Palace, and he sent pictures yesterday. It was just about 68, kind of dreary here, and it just looks amazing. So enjoy Cabo for us. By the way, OB, it's 7 o'clock in the morning there. I mean, I'm sure they'll get you a Bloody Mary. The Gray Barn.
It's happy hour.
920-6803. Reach out to Cheryl. Let her design, coordinate your next event, corporate event, quinceañera. You want to have
birthday parties.
You want to just have like a little meet and greet with Brother Gary. You call Brother Gary and come to your business. He'll stand there to, how are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? How are you?
Kisses ring. Kisses ring.
Pope Gary Moses the first.
Bring him an envelope.
Bring him an envelope. That's right. Someday I'll ask you to do this thing. You'll just do it, And Cheryl will decorate that for you. It'll be great. Do it. Win services. Win solar.
Went electrical. Went propane.
Electric bill went down. Reach out. Reach out to Win Services. See about if you've got a corporate structure. They can put solar panels on the roof. The government will pay for it. You'll get tax abatements. And the next thing you know, you're getting electricity for free. Reach out to Win Services, USA Concrete Coatings, Charlie Garcia and his crew. Whether you need a patio, porch, sidewalk, pool, deck, whatever you need done, they'll fix it. And let Ash tell you about the folks that – let's talk about budget blinds.
Let's talk about budget blinds because they can meet any budget that you have. They'll give you great window coverings. They're a local Lutron dealer. They're also a local Hunter Douglas dealer.
That's why it's called budget blinds. It's not called expensive blinds.
No, not at all.
Exclusive blinds.
They've also got automated roller shades and honeycomb shades. So they can any look you're trying to achieve in your home. Casey and the gang at Budget Blinds can do it. They've got they've got smart home technology that allows you to remote control your blinds and your window coverings. I mean, and they'll service the entire Crossroads area, 60-mile radius out of Victoria. And
trivia,
what's
in
that?
Germany, they're called Volksbrunnen. Yeah.
Free and home consultations.
Wines for the people.
And
check out the new Ronnie Millsap model.
And they will not only that, but they'll install everything as well. So
Ronnie Millsap got some new plantation shutters. Did you see him?
Neither did he.
He didn't either.
Brittany Posey-Tanazi doing a great job at the NFR.
You know, we're going to catch some flack. We're talking about barrel racing, and we don't talk about high school football. But we don't have any. Well, I tell you what, Howard'sville going to the state semis for the first time in forever on the running little feet of Jonathan Brooks, a UT commit.
Wow, nobody in Howard'sville listens to us anyway, except for their county judge.
Very excited though for the barrel racer. She's legit.
Yeah, she's from Victoria.
There you go.
Grew up here. Now live in, I think, up middle of Texas somewhere. Easier to get to all the roadies.
Malibu, California.
But, I mean, ran a time yesterday that they didn't think anybody was going to beat. She's sitting back there polishing up her buckle, thinking she's, I don't know, lo and behold, somebody 0.5 of a second faster.
What kind of time you got to do at the time?
17:13 for Brittany, and I think 17:08 was the winning time yesterday. But that's 2 second place go rounds in a row for her.
Consistent.
So, and I think she's number 2 or 3 in the world heading into this, or now as a result. She might be sneaking up a number 1.
Should have won too. Under that pesky kid.
So,
folks, it's after 8 o'clock. You get to hang tight with the Hall of Famer, Ralph Salazar, and the big lefty, Gary Moses, coming in. Used to pitch like Dennis Eckersley, kind of a little bit sidearm like that. Throw you that cutter. Sorry, didn't mean to hit you.
Here comes that slow curve,
right?
Jacked by Kurt Gibson.
Right. Backdoor slider. He always threw it on 3-2.
Yeah.
See ya.
So.
All right.